The duck wanted to steal honey, without being noticed by the bees, so he disguised himself as a bee. But just as he was about to make his move, he noticed a little bee carefully guarding the entrance. To gain its trust, the duck quickly performed a demonstration of honey gathering skills, hoping to win its favor. Sure enough, the little bee was impressed and immediately invited the duck inside, even enthusiastically offered honey. After drinking, the duck surprisingly wanted more, so the little bee went back to fetch more honey. Meanwhile, the duck drilled a hole in the tree trunk, and honey flowed endlessly through a tube into an iron bucket. The little bee cheerfully clinked cups with the duck, completely unaware that this so-called friend had already stolen 2 large buckets of honey. When the main bee group returned from gathering, the little bee was asleep. The queen was about to ask what had happened when the inspecting soldiers reported that the honey was gone. The queen flew into a rage and immediately suspended the little bee from guarding the entrance. The little bee was heartbroken, knowing there was no use arguing. It had no choice but to leave, but halfway there, it suddenly spotted its hive's honey peeking through the keyhole. The bee finally discovered the culprit and saw the duck trying to disguise himself as a bee again to steal. The little bee was furious. It tried to teach the duck a lesson with its stinger but ended up hurting itself instead. When the duck jumped into the hive, the bee immediately started fighting him, thinking its fellow bees would come to help, but they all hid away. Later the bee was cornered by the duck, and it seemed like defeat was inevitable. But then the situation unexpectedly turned. The bee wore the duck's pointed beak and attacked the duck. The duck realized he was in trouble and frantically ran around the tree trunk. In the end, the duck received his punishment from the bee, and the bee returned safely to its colony.